to the open floor. Shot blocked by TJ.
Shaver step back. Got it.
Econ is getting that mid-ranger to drop.
Pick, roll, dunk.
Nothing like some Friday night hoops. Mountain West against the American Conference, a good non-conference at ExtraMile Arena with Boise State and Tulsa. With former Broncos sharpshooter Ryan King, Chris Lewis here with you. And for the Broncos, it's a chance to bounce back after a tough overtime loss to St. Louis.
Yeah, really, and kind of a must-win game right now for Boise State and the community right here. They didn't shoot it very well against St. Louis. Kind of had it wrapped up at the end. They go to overtime. St. Louis makes the shots, puts the dagger in Boise State. This is a bounce-back game for the Broncos.
Well, despite the loss against St. Louis, it was a big game for Tyson Degenhart for Boise State.
Boy, it really was. Tyson is emerging to be a great player at Boise State. The freshman from Spokane, Washington. He can shoot it from the outside. He can rebound. He goes inside. He's got a big body. I think this kid's going to do some damage in the Mountain West Conference over the next 4 years.
You mentioned from Spokane, two-time Greater Spokane League Player of the Year, had 11 points in the loss against St. Louis, so he helped the Broncos get that game to overtime. But for Boise State, the story of the season has been the shooting this year. Of course, the free throw shooting, we'll get to that. The three-point shooting has been up and down, and perhaps the game against St. Louis showed the highs and lows.
Yeah, 28% on the season, and that's really just not a Leon Rice team, right? They always shoot the ball well at Boise State. 312 out of 350 teams in the United States right now. St. Louis, 1 for 10 the first half, 7 for 15 the second half. Maybe they'll start to get it going. They'll need to get it going tonight against Tulsa.
I mentioned some of the shooting numbers are rough. We'll see if the Broncos can get their shooting together against a tough Tulsa team that's coming off of a loss of their own against Oral Roberts. Boise State wants to bounce back. Tulsa comes in the challengers to ExtraMile Arena. Tip-off coming up. Boise State looking to bounce back, and Coach Leon Rice open his team. Has that shooting touch. You can clearly see a coach who's used to having some great shooting teams. It drives him crazy that this Bronco team, 41% from the floor, that's not too bad, but 28% from three. And even the bigger number, and that cost the Broncos in their loss against St. Louis, 56% from the free throw line. They're only 12 for 26 in the loss to St. Louis. Meanwhile, St. Louis was 30 for 34, so look no other in an overtime loss to the free throw line. And again, he's so used to having great shooting teams.
Yeah, and as a coaching staff, I mean, you've kind of got to feel sorry for them. They're so frustrated. I mean, they draw it up, they get wide open looks, they drive, they get fouled, they send them to the free throw line. Nothing's going in for Boise State this season. So maybe tonight's the night for the Broncos against a Tulsa team who's pretty dang good.
Yeah, they are 4-3, preseason 7th in the American. Yeah, Leon Rice, one of the things he said this week, 2 things that don't last very long: dogs that chase cars and teams that don't make free throws.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And he's completely right, of course, right? I mean, Boise State gave up a potential of 20 extra points from the free throw line against St. Louis. So, you know, that won't last forever.
Tulsa led by Frank Haight, the 8th-year head coach. Sam Griffin, Anthony Pritchard, Jariah Horn, starters, as well as Curtis Haywood, the second getting the start in the backcourt. And Ray Idowu, a start at center. For Boise State, Shaver Jr., Aycock, Kejab, Degenhart, and Armush, a starting 5. Underway from ExtraMile Arena. Boise State 3-4, looking to snap a 2-game losing streak.
Well, Chris, and I can tell you already, the fans here in Boise, Idaho will go crazy if a 3-point shot goes in here early.
Well, it's a turnover early. Armush had his pass deflected, but then a hit off of him, and Shaver, the intended target for the pass on the wing.
Tulsa really loaded with talent. Keep your eye on Jariah Horn, averaging 19 points a game, 30 in his last outing, and he's a handful for any coach.
Horn on the near side corner. He got 30 points in the loss to Oral Roberts. Idowu Baseline with 8 to shoot. Key jab gets a rip and a steal for the Broncos. Acott, front court. Degenhart in the starting lineup delivers a three-pointer.
How about that? 1 for 1 for Boise State. Much needed three-point shot.
We talked about it. If Boise State could shoot it well early, how big of a difference it would make.
Boy, just the confidence is such a difference when they go in the basket.
Griffin, the pull-up.
Boy, Griffin's the other one Boise State's going to have to contain. He's averaging 16 a game, and he's a handful.
Griffin only scored 8 in the loss against Oral Roberts. Acott against the Tulsa defense, draws a couple. Shot clock winds down. Acott has to go to work. Shaver, deep three. Off. Armish, the O-board. So good on the boards for the Broncos. Shaver can't feed key jab, and Boise State gives it away.
Boy, really unfortunate. That would have been an easy one for him. Oh.
That's Sam Griffin again. Back-to-back jumpers, this time a 3, and Tulsa in front.
Yeah, and the one thing Boise State has done really well this season is defend. Other than the St. Louis game, they've been really locking people down.
As much as people are complaining on the Broncos side about the lack of three-point production, including some of the comments from Coach Leon Rice, they're still making a couple more threes per game than they're giving up. It's just to show you how good defensively that they've been at taking away the three. The Broncos make 6.5 threes per game, only allow 4 for contest.
Yeah, defensively, they've been really good. They've been in lockdown mode. They just haven't been able to make baskets. And against Tulsa, this will be really interesting because defensively, they like to bait you into shooting the three. So they're going to get plenty of opportunities tonight.
Opponents have been hitting close to 10 threes per game against Tulsa. B-jab from Shaver. Fall away. Armish fights for the board, tumbling to the ground with Idowu. It's a possession arrow, which belongs to Tulsa.
You know, talking to the coaching staff for Boise State before the game, they knew they would get a lot of open looks from the three-point line, and they said, we just can't fall into settling for that shot. We've got to cut. We've got to get to the basket. We've got to make the extra pass. We've done that here early. They're just not getting to go in the basket.
Well, Brian, you're a former Bronco who shot the three very well. So what's the difference between a good three and a bad three?
You know, the best threes are the threes that get kicked out to you when you get a post touch. You can really spot up, get your legs under you, got a clear view. Those threes are easy to make. The hard ones under pressure, coming off a screen, shot clock's ending, those become a little more difficult.
Griffin, that's a tough three. You're talking about tough ones versus easy ones. And Griffin says that it was deflected, doesn't get the benefit of the call from our officiating crew, Tony Green, Brian Jarrett, and Will Howard.
You know, Tulsa defensively, they will play a lot of zone. They'll start with kind of a 2-1-2, kind of a soft, full court press, not really to try to get a steal or deflection, just to slow the offense down. We'll see if it come with it early.
Veteran head coach on the Tulsa side. Former head coach at Missouri, Miami. Now leading the way for Tulsa in his 8th year.
Boy, he's had a lot of experience. He's got a lot of years under his belt. Here comes more of a half-court trap by Tulsa.
Broncos keep it. Boise State 3-4, dropping 2 in a row. An ugly home loss to Cal State Bakersfield. And then a tough home loss last time out to St. Louis. Degenhart got the start. His first start last time out against St. Louis, had 11 points.
Oh, it's 3 turnovers for the Broncos already. They've done a pretty good job of taking care of the basketball this year, but not early.
Tulsa at 4-3. Their last game was a loss to Oral Roberts. Curtis Haywood II getting the start in this game. Averaging only 3.5 points a contest. Shot clock getting late. Here's Uriah Horn, top player for Tulsa. The Colorado transfer, step back and short. And the Broncos dig out the rebound.
Good defensive possession by Boise State. Tulsa falls back into that 2-3 zone. Again, they're going to get, Boise State will get looks here.
That's another turnover, though.
Boy, 4 turnovers in probably 8 possessions, Chris.
So a tough start. Taking care of the basketball for Boise State. Still know a couple of good shots. Tyson Degenhart from the corner to get the Broncos on the board. Boise State down a couple. Turnover is a story early on as the Broncos find themselves down 2. Head-to-head comparison between Boise State and Tulsa.
Well, you see what sticks out there, Chris. 28%. 3-point percentage for the Broncos, 35 for Tulsa. Tulsa actually shoots it pretty well. Boise State hasn't so far.
Boise State's only bucket so far, a 3-pointer. Tyson Degenhart from the corner. Idowu going to work. Tough challenge trying to solve Armush, and the Broncos win that one. Kuzmanovic in off the Bronco bench for the first time and gets the basketball here. Pavle Kuzmanovic, backdoor. The jab misses, but the tip back is up and in by Tyson Degenhart.
Again, we talked about you can't settle for those threes. You need cutters, and they got a good look that time. Oh, good pass.
Leaving it off for Idowu, who gets fouled, but it all set up from the acceleration from Anthony Pritchard. First foul on Kuzmanovic. Couple of free throws for Ray Idowu, the senior from Melbourne, Florida. Now 9 for 13 from the free throw line this season.
You know, Tulsa actually shoots it really well from the free throw line. 78% on the season. 1 for 1 tonight. Make it 2 for 2.
Adding them up in real time.
Here comes that soft press, little 1-2-2. They'll fall back into a zone. Boy, Broncos need somebody in the middle here.
The zone has provided a challenge for Boise State for early turnovers.
Yeah, you see, Chris, it's a little bit of a matchup zone, so they'll follow guys halfway through. Ball really needs to move against this. Uh-oh.
G-Jab is surrounded. He's in trouble. 2 to shoot. Kuzmanovic late to get it off. Shot clock violation and another Boise State giveaway.
But Tulsa really got what they wanted out of that with that 1-2-2 kind of a half-court trap. It burned about 10 seconds off that shot clock, and Boise State had a tough time getting into their offense.
Najee Smith hasn't made a field goal the last 3 games. Still providing the defensive presence, the wing from Spokane. Haywood's pass a little low, looking for Ladavius Drain, who's in off the Tulsa bench.
Yeah, good idea. We'll get a second look. Good idea. Just kind of didn't get it in his hands.
Darian Jackson, former 6th player of the year in the American. One of the longtime mainstays for the Golden Hurricane.
Here's that 1-2-2 trap again. Again, they just burned 10 seconds off the shot clock. Boise State needs to realize that. A little less time.
Armush kicks out. Shaver Jr. wants 3. Give him 3.
Pretty good patience by the Broncos that time. They got the wide open look. Shaver knocked it down.
So for a team that struggles shooting the 2 threes, but Sam Griffin's been tough to solve on the other end for Tulsa. He has 7 of Tulsa's 9.
Boy, Sam Griffin, I've seen him on tape. This kid can play. Again, the 1-2-2 trap. That's better in the middle. Now they're into it.
Shaver trying to move the zone. Armush, pass does get to him, and then he's hacked. Aladdin Armush fouled.
Yeah, pretty good ball movement by Boise State. They got it side to side, little dump in. Tulsa reacted pretty well. A lot of blue shirts around.
Darian Jackson whistled for the foul. Darian Jackson plays much bigger than his 6'3" size. And he'll be in there amongst the bigs. He'll be trying to pry the ball loose, really good at taking it away, getting steals. Oh, jeez. The travel on Boise State. Second travel called. And for the Broncos, it's turnover 6.
They average 11, which, Chris, actually is not bad. I mean, that's taking care of the basketball for a game. You keep it 10 or 11 turnovers, that's just okay. But 6 already. We got 13 minutes left in the first half.
Not a great base.
Boise State man-to-man. I don't think they've played a possession of zone this season.
Darian Jackson walled up. Bounce pass. Embry Simpson extends. Gets separation. Line drive on the jumper.
Boy, Tulsa, every player on the team, thick-bodied. These are good-looking athletes.
Kijab, a good athlete for Boise State, muscles his way to the hoop for 2. As for the Broncos, their first game without Degenhart Dutrieve, who is no longer with the program, according to the Bronco staff. Ball looked like it might have been touched by Tulsa, but the official rules that Marcus Shaver Jr. was the last to touch.
Go back and take a look here. Where to go? Look on Leon Rice. He'll tell you. He'll tell you whose ball it is.
Sure, a coach has never pleaded his case, even though the call might have been correct against him.
Oh.
What a rejection.
Degenhart. Telling you, the freshman, this kid's going to be a player at Boise State. Really good take here, too.
He's a freshman from Spokane. Starting to step into more of a role early in the season. Hook shot is off from Konstantinovsky for Tulsa.
Well, Boise State defensively has been really, really good early. Tulsa struggled to get good looks. There's that matchup zone against again by Tulsa. Got a pass against this thing. One more.
Corner for Kijab. Got it.
Really good ball movement, really good patience. There's that kick out shot we talked about. Easy to make those.
So Boise State already at 3 triples that take a 4-point lead over Tulsa. Great passing for Boise State. Acott finding Kijab, the key for the blue and orange. Second start for Tyson Degenhart, and it's going pretty well for Boise State.
Well, Degenhart hasn't missed a shot. Hits the first 3 of the game, which Boise State fans love to see. Comes back later, gets a nice little tip in. The freshman from Spokane, Washington, getting it done. And on the defensive end, big old body right there.
Great start so far for the freshman. You mentioned perfect shooting, 2 for 2, 1 for 1 from 3, 5 points. That block. Getting a break on the bench. Max Rice, son of head coach Leon Rice. He's in the game, providing a shooting spark.
Well, that's a great play right there by Boise State. Caught Tulsa sleeping a little bit. Should have had a layup out of that by Hermoose. Get a second look right there. Just held it a little too long. Just grab that thing, go right up. We get a couple free throws out of it, though.
So here it is for Boise State, a big story. The free throw line, only 56% from the line as a team. And, of course, the first one rattles out. Armish at 50%.
You know, shooting, Chris, sometimes it's just kind of contagious. You make one, and all of a sudden it gets it going. So Armish needs to knock one down for his own good here.
It looked like a lane violation. Indeed, the officials catch it. Violation is Tulsa moved early. Darian Jackson stepped into the lane, and you can almost see Armish's eye go over towards, excuse me, it wasn't Jackson who moved. Said it was a player on the interior that moved early.
Oh, boy.
But that one was worse.
Oh, boy. Now it's in his head. Uh-oh.
So you mentioned you're a shooter, and no matter what, there's some players who, no matter what the circumstances are, will have their shot on point. But you're saying for a team that a lack of shooting or a couple of offs, and all of a sudden it's contagious.
Yeah, and instead of knowing that you're going to make it, you're worried that you're going to make it. You're kind of thinking you're going to miss it. And that mindset is just all real. That's just the difference between great shooters and not great shooters. You got to know you're going to make it. Oh, boy.
Well, another Boise State turnover. It's been an issue in this game, and Anthony Pritchard, the beneficiary for the Golden Hurricane.
Well, Tulsa's got some really quick athletes out there. The Broncos really just need to take care of the ball. Maybe some ball fakes. Just keep it simple. That's good offense. Oh.
Good offense until it wasn't.
Yeah, I think, Chris, that's exactly right. Looked like it was easy. Little high post, little dump in, little layup, except the layup.
You saw Najee Smith. That was a great angle by our fantastic crew here with the Mountain West Network. As he pointed to his chest, saying that was his mistake on the pass.
Tulsa with a chance to tie it up here. A little slow offensively for them. Boise State is really good defensively. Again, there's the turnover.
Key-jab attacking the basket. Great hands, though, on the opposite side by Curtis Haywood II.
You get a replay right here. There's Key-jab, just steps in the passing lane. He says, I'm going to go get this myself.
He wanted a foul, didn't get it. Boise State shooting 5 for 9, but only 9 shots because of the turnovers. Close out aggressively on Smith, and it's another Boise State turnover. Sam Griffin.
Boy, you don't want to leave Sam open.
7 points already. Has the switch. Draws Armish.
Boy, Tulsa's got to find a way to get Uriah Horn involved.
That was tough by Pritchard. The Broncos defense held up off the switch. Nine turnovers, 9 field goal attempts for Boise State so far.
Wow. You know, again, it's just the little things. Good take.
Aycott draws the foul.
Key-jab just wants to go downhill here. Gets down there. Tulsa's pretty smart. They're just saying, we're going to foul him. We're not giving him anything. We're going to make him earn it from the free throw line. And I think I'd probably do the same thing at this stage.
It's a big call there. Second foul on Sam Griffin. So Griffin remaining in. Broncos make a substitution. Bring back Key-jab.
Degenhart back in for the Broncos. Tulsa does a nice job in that matchup. Just kind of nowhere to dribble against that thing. It's got to move.
Broncos move it. 3 left. Shaver from the wing. Bullseye.
Really good patience by Boise State. Good job defensively by Tulsa. Shaver just knocks it down.
Largest lead in the early going for Boise State at 5. Straightaway 3 for Horn. Yes, sir.
Kind of knew that was going to happen. You're not going to keep him off the scoreboard for very long. Really good look. Beautiful shot. Jeriah Horn on the board.
Key-jab off the press, and Horn says no. Horn the stretch with the 3, and then providing the D on the other end.
Boy, I think if I'm Tulsa, he's going to touch the ball every time down the court, at least once.
Operates here, hook shot, it's pretty.
Yeah, don't let him get going, Boise State.
And Tulsa in the passing lane again. Curtis Haywood II says it was last touch by Max Rice. But instead, the officials ruled that it stays with Boise State.
Boy, that would have been double-digit turnovers in the first half right there. Max is like, not me, not me.
I think his leg hit out of bounds first, Haywood, before he had the chance to throw it off the body of Rice.
Tulsa stays in the zone. Again, a matchup. They'll follow people through occasionally. Hard to dribble against. Attaboy.
Beautifully set up by Shaver. Finds Aycott for the stuff. Thought about for Tulsa. getting Jariah Horn involved. He scored the last 5 for the Golden Hurricane. Cross-court pass is picked by Shaver. Rice, who's had a slow start to the year, turns down a 3, and perhaps confidence not at its typical highest. Degenhart misses a 3, but we saw Rice turn it down. Last year, he did not turn down many three-point
No, that's
looks.
right. Well, I think you're right. 0 for 6 on the season from behind that stripe, so he's going to be probably a little careful with which one he selects first.
Foul called on Boise State and a stoppage here. Broncos up by 2 over Tulsa here in the first half. It's had a lot of action each way. Block shots, big threes, and it's all led to a 2-point Bronco advantage at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State leads by 2. Marcus Shaver Jr. igniting the Bronco offense.
Well, he's got 2 threes already, Chris. They're actually big, critical threes, into the shot clock type possessions. He's getting it warmed up early, and now taking a dish for the dunk. Got a good basketball game going here.
For Boise State, the problem's been the turnovers. That's a team that's shooting 54%. Great inbounds play, but Shaver rejects the look from Jackson. Aycock going to work. Ejab can't hang on to it. Jackson over the outstretched arms of Aycock, couldn't get it to fall.
Boy, there's no easy buckets on either side tonight. Yep, one more pass.
Well, they call the offensive foul, key jab, after he got rid of it, running into Darian Jackson. Only the second team foul on Boise State.
Yeah, it's been a really clean game actually so far. Schaefer was hoping he was going to get another 3 there in the corner, but not going to happen. Here comes Tulsa.
It's actually the third team foul called on the Broncos. Each team with 3 fouls. Haven't had many foul whistles through the first half of this one. Horn off the dribble, handoff. Stays here after the miss. Rice pulled in the rebound, but he pushed off.
Boy, really good looking shot by Horn. I like him. He's a nice player. Maybe a little ticky-tack foul down low.
Talked about Jariah Horn. Really interesting story. This is his second stint at Tulsa. He actually started his college career at Nebraska, transferred to Tulsa, a couple of years there, went on to move to Colorado, spent a season there, and it's a grad transfer. He's back here at Tulsa.
Yeah, Rocky Mountains, back to the Midwest. He was the second leading scorer for Colorado. I mean, a really nice season for the Buffs.
Deep 3. Short from Haywood.
Tulsa not shooting it well, 33%, almost another turnover by Boise State, but they're going to keep possession here. Arrow goes their way. Boy, again, Chris, against these matchup zones, you really just can't dribble. There's somebody always coming at you. You think you're by one guy, here comes the next guy. You just got to one dribble, kick it, one dribble, kick it.
It almost seems like an amoeba type defense. It starts out as one thing, then transitions to the other thing. So how do you solve that as an offense?
That's exactly right. Like I said, one dribble kick, one dribble kick. You take 2 or 3 dribbles, you got guys coming from all angles.
Again, that shot clock under 10.
Tulsa doing a nice job.
Great hands by Haywood. And only 2 to shoot for Boise State.
Yeah, really good defensive possession by Tulsa that time. Gosh, and the other thing, you just can't throw it across the court against these defenses. You've got to reverse it to the next guy in line.
Off leg, Kuzmanovic. Back in for Boise State. Perhaps the best shooter on the team so far. He's made 8 of his 23-point attempts. Only 2 to shoot. Aycock, tough look. Didn't hit the rim.
Ooh. Good possession by Tulsa. Dug in. Boy, I wouldn't have thought this, but this is a bit of a defensive battle right here.
That's how Boise State has to get it done these days. Their games typically in the 60s. Tulsa averaging 71 points a game. And they come in 4-3. Boise State, losers of 2 straight. They're 3-4.
Good job.
Josh Early can't get it to fall. Boise State up a bucket. Tough look for Shaver Jr. It doesn't matter.
Really good mid-range. Good pull-up by Shaver. 2016.
8 for Shaver. Team high. 7. And there's a team high for Sam Griffin. Griffin, though, with 2 fouls, and he's on the bench right now for Tulsa.
Yeah, and I got to think that's really hurt Tulsa so far. I mean, he is kind of the play marker, their go-to guy.
Smith defensively.
Yeah, Horn's going to take a little break, a little breather.
So for Tulsa here, where does the offense come from with both Horn and Griffin on the bench?
I bet you they're asking themselves that same question right now.
And
How about right here?
Late shot clock, tough bounce pass in traffic. Broncos all over it. Najee Smith ahead of the pack and slams it.
Really good look. Broncos don't get a lot of transition baskets, not a lot of runouts. 22-16, the lead extends.
Largest lead so far for Boise State. Embry Simpson stumbling to the ground. Fight for it. And a tie-up. And this time the arrow gives it to Tulsa.
So Pritchard will come back in for Tulsa. Doe will come back in, but you're right. Half their scoring is still sitting on the bench right now for Tulsa.
And between Horn and Griffin, that's about 35 points per game for a team that averages 71.
Yeah, I bet you Horn won't be down there very long. 8 on the shot clock.
Pritchard in traffic. Completes the pass to Idowu. And unable to deliver. Kuzmanovic lost it. Pritchard straddling the line, stays in. Idowu in the lane. Up and under and down.
Boy, nice play, tough play. That was a man's play right there. Back to this 1-2-2, little soft trap. Just to make the Broncos think a little bit.
And that shot clock evaporates pretty quickly for Boise State without getting that interior touch.
Boy, it really does. Just got to go inside there at least once.
Acott lines it up. Chasing the rebound, Smith goes over to back. So the Broncos up 4, but Najee Smith, Brian, got a highlight.
Yeah, great look by Shaver. Najee fills the lane. Everybody likes when that happens.
Friday night hoops here at ExtraMile Arena. Good non-conference between Boise State and Tulsa. Good way to spend a Friday night after a hard week of work, tough week at school, holiday time coming up. Enjoying a night, watching some hoops.
Yeah, they gave away free pizza to everybody who walked in here tonight. I mean, what's wrong with that? Shooting hot dogs into the stands.
They didn't give it away to everybody who walked in tonight because there was no pizza for me.
I didn't see it either. I think I got here a little too early. Here we go, Tulsa, only 18 points on the board.
Been hanging in there with Boise State. Not shooting it well in this game. Idowu from the free throw line chases his own rebound and commits the foul.
Boy, Boise State is defensively just doing a really nice job. There are no easy shots for Tulsa here in the first half.
Yeah, Tulsa just 32% shooting compared to Boise State's 53. So how is the score so close? Well, turnovers. A big story. Boise State in this game already 13 turnovers, more than they average per game.
Oh boy,
and that's an offensive foul.
And you can just assume that's a turnover as well, really. So, But again, credit to Tulsa defensively. I mean, they're really, really tough defensively. There's just not a lot of places to go.
Leon Rice thinks Idowu did not establish that position. You can clearly see it from the look on his face. Well, frustrating times for Boise State and a tough non-conference schedule. I mean, they've been facing quality opponent after quality opponent, Tulsa included. And it's a 3-4 start to the year.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they had a nice win against Ole Miss. Of course, St. Bonaventure, nationally ranked, battled it with them. They have played a tough schedule. And they're still trying to kind of figure things out themselves. That's how it works.
Press break, key jab, the hoop and the harm.
First time the ball has gone to the middle. I don't know if we'll get another look at this, but really nice entry pass. Armouche just turn and face, little back cut. That's easy.
Again, you've been saying that perhaps was there all game long.
Yeah, just, you know, if you can ever get the ball to the high post and just turn and face, the whole world opens up for you. Now key jab gets to attempt a free throw.
0 for 2 as a team from the line. 0 for 3.
Oh boy.
Key jab 55%. Boise State, the second worst free throw shooting team in the nation. Only Sam Houston State shoots it worse.
Yeah, and under Leon Rice's guidance, that's never happened at Boise State. I mean, he's always had kids that could really knock him down from the free throw line. So this is an unusual event for him.
Idowu, he's been busy. Armouche strong on the defense. Tulsa, another life on the possession. Jackson, a 3-ball, and you know it. Darian Jackson, his 4th 3 made this season.
Yeah, I mean, when Tulsa gets a good look, they knock it down. But Boise State has done a nice job in not giving him that look. You see, Boise State has gone to a high post now in that 1-2-2. Turn and face, open shot.
Shaver can't answer. Armouche muscles the rebound. Key jab tries the right lane, and Horn meets him there to tie it up. Jariah Horn, step for step with key jab.
Boy, those are two big athletes going at each other right now. Boy, Horn did a really nice job there.
Arrow keeps it with Boise State. And Coach Leon Rice takes a timeout. With 1:06 left in the first half, a low-scoring one. Boise State the 1-point lead, but credit Tulsa hanging in there despite the shooting struggles. They have made 3 of their 7 3-pointers, but it's been Tulsa's defense that has proved to be tough here in Boise.
Yeah, it really has. It's a defensive battle. I mean, Tulsa has not gotten a lot of open shots. When they've got them, they've knocked them down. But give credit to Boise State. There just hasn't been a lot of them. And then vice versa for Tulsa defensively. Boise State with 13 turnovers in the first half. You have to give Tulsa credit in that 1-2-2 matchup zone.
We talked about Boise State's schedule to this point. How about Utah Valley the other day beating BYU?
Nobody predicted that. Nobody, including Utah Valley, predicted that. But big win by them.
That was a crazy atmosphere for that game in Orem, Utah. But this highlights the challenges that have been on the Broncos schedule this year.
Got 10 on the shot clock.
After the timeout, and see what Coach Leon Rice has designed. Armouche wants it. Knocked away by Horn. Just one to shoot. Acott has to hurry. Gets it off. And in! But will it count?
I don't know. I kind of think I heard a buzzer before that left his hand. We'll see. We'll see. Boy, little shots like that. We get a look right there.
Looked like the clock moved to 0 before the release from Emmanuel Acott.
Yeah, of course, we'll have these fine officials will give us a couple minutes to study that.
It doesn't take a couple of minutes. It takes a couple of seconds for them to wipe it off.
Yeah, that was an easy one. Good shot by Acott, though. Deep 3.
Good shot by our crew, too. Perfect angle.
Absolutely. There we go. You can see the board there. 49 seconds to go. 24-23. Let's see if Tulsa can get it to Horn here. I think if I'm on that team, I want him to touch the ball, and I want him to touch it in the paint somewhere.
Off balance. Griffin back in with the 2 fouls. Didn't hit anything. That was a 2-for-1 look.
Yeah, it really was.
So Tulsa will get another possession. Good to see a college basketball team take advantage of that. You see it quite frequently watching games on a daily basis.
Yeah.
These teams not recognize the 2-for-1. They got, this time it counts.
That was a little heat check right there. He made that big long one earlier.
10 seconds to go in the first half. Griffin, the hot hand early on. Horn, hot hand late, and it stays burning. Jariah Horn before the buzzer.
Really a good set play called by Frank Haith right there. Got it to his guy, knocked it down, but here's Aycock. Big 3.
ExtraMile Arena here at halftime. Boise State and Tulsa competitive. First 20 minutes, 27-26 the score. ExtraMile Arena crowd here in Boise coming out to see these 2 squads. Chris Lewis, Brian King here with you. And some of the numbers from the first half. You can see the difference in shooting percentage, how much that would favor Boise State, but the last line on the graphic that you see, the turnovers, you circle that. And that's how Tulsa has been, right, step for step with Boise State.
Yeah, it's been a real defensive battle, but I think if you had asked Leon Rice if they were, what he would give the odds of 15 turnovers in one half, he would have said 0. But give credit to Tulsa's defense. They've really gotten after Boise State. 15 turnovers, holy smokes. But they are shooting it better for Boise State. Tulsa not getting a lot of good looks. The good looks they've gotten, they're knocking them down. They'll have to work on that at halftime, figure out a way to get better shots.
And for perspective, Boise State, 11 turnovers per game, 15 and a half.
Yeah, and again, Tulsa, that 1-2-2 matchup zone that Tulsa plays is really difficult to play against. It shouldn't be that difficult, though. 15 turnovers, a few offensive fouls that were caused out of it, a few near turnovers. There's probably 18, 19 possessions Boise State didn't get a shot out of.
0 for 3 free throws is another thing that Boise State certainly has to shake their head about, especially coming off of a 12 for 26 from the free throw line against St. Louis in an overtime loss. Individually, Marcus Shaver Jr. leading the way for Boise State with 8 points. And with a 3-pointer right before the buzzer, Jariah Horn has a team high 8 points for Tulsa. 27-26 is Boise State with a 1-point lead over the Golden Hurricanes in a non-conference game here at ExtraMile Arena. We'll have more from the half in Boise after this. Halftime score, Boise State 27, Tulsa 26. Competitive half each way. Broncos shot it well, turned it over a bunch. Tulsa struggling to shoot, but that defense, that trapping zone has been a story. But for Boise State, they have gotten contributions. Big ones from a freshman making his second start, Tyson Degenhart.
Boy, a nice looking freshman. Here's the first possession of the game. Tyson drills a 3. Big play for the Broncos. Parents back home in Spokane are pretty happy. Nice pass to Keychab inside for the bucket as well. And here's the block. Again, 6'7", big body. He's going to put a lot of good minutes on the court for Boise State in the years to come.
Well, Ambu Keychab for Boise State's been here a couple of years. The transfer from Oregon has proved to be a force in half one.
Yeah, he's got 7 in the first half, and again, transfer from Oregon. He can shoot it outside. Really strong, gets to the hoop, runs the court well. There's a nice back cut and a good pass. That's how you beat that zone defense right there.
And Marcus Shaver setting it all up.
Well, again, he's hit a couple of big 3s, and that's been Boise State's problem so far. So good for him to get it going early. Shaver with 8. He's been running the court. Nice dish here for the dunk. Boise State, you named it, it's been a defensive battle, but they've been able to put some points on the board early.
To highlight defensive plays as well as those tough jump shots that Shaver makes look very routine for Boise State. 27-26 at the half. The hardwood. Players have been hitting that hardwood here at ExtraMile Arena. We'll be back with more from halftime. Coming up shortly, Boise State by 1. 12th all-time meeting between Boise State and Tulsa. Last one was back in 2019. It was at Tulsa, the first game of this back-and-forth series. Tulsa won it 69-56. And of course, these teams shared the WAC from 02 to 05. First half of this one here in Boise, Broncos lead it by 1. Offense, when they got the shots off, had no problems falling in. It's just a matter of having field goal attempts. Yeah, one of the things about this game, Tulsa's taken 7 more shots than Boise State. And you think, oh, well, maybe some of the difference is at the free throw line. Well, Boise State missed all 3 of their free throws.
Really good point. I mean, with 15 turnovers, 3 offensive fouls, a couple of tip balls, it's 20 lost possessions by Boise State. So you factor that in, this could be a 15-point game pretty easily. But give credit to Tulsa, man. They fly around defensively. They're really tough in that matchup zone. They haven't given Boise State a lot of looks. But to your point, when they're open, Boise State's done a better job of knocking them down.
One of the fun things about this matchup is you have the Mountain West versus the American, and you almost feel like these mean so much in the non-conference because it establishes a bit of a hierarchy of how good is your league, how do you compare to this conference. When you have teams on the bubble, well, your wins in your league look better when your teams in the middle of the pack, which Boise State projected middle of the pack in the Mountain West, against a team like Tulsa, middle of the pack in the American Conference. Like, these games matter for their league so much.
Boy, Chris, that's a really good point. Of course, that American Conference is loaded with Houston and Cincinnati and Memphis and SMU and Wichita State. I mean, that's a tough basketball conference. And so, yeah, a win for Boise State against a program like Tulsa, pretty important when it comes down to the final drawing.
Not to discount the Mountain West with San Diego State, Colorado State, Utah State, and their starts of the year. Wyoming's had a good start to the season,
right.
So still a lot of hopeful teams looking for perhaps at-large berth in the NCAA tournament when March rolls around. Second half to roll around here in Boise. Coming up next. 20 minutes have been completed between Boise State and Tulsa. Game number 8 of the year for each of these teams, as the Broncos have the 1-point lead, 27-26. With Brian King, Chris Lewis here, Mountain West Network, Friday night. Thanks for spending your Friday night with us. First half nearly even. Brian, what are some of the keys for both teams in the second half?
Well, I think obviously for Boise State, you got to take care of the basketball, right? I mean, 15 turnovers, we keep harping on it. My guess is that doesn't happen the second half. I think Leon and his staff probably addressed that slightly in the locker room. And for Tulsa, they've just got to get better shots, right? I mean, Boise State's done a really nice job defensively against them. When Tulsa gets the shots, they knock them down. You got to get the ball. You got to get the ball to Horn as well, right? I mean, your best player averages 19 points a game. Horn and Griffin need a lot of touches in the second half.
Horn with 8 points. Broncos did as well as they could to swarm him, but Horn had that dagger before the first half buzzer.
You know, Horn's got 8. It's been a quiet 8, only on 5 attempts. My guess is Tulsa might want to try to pick up the tempo a little bit, pick up the pace. They're going to have to score some points. If they don't score 60, I think Boise State wins this basketball game.
The pace of their game certainly favors Boise State, liking their games in the 60s. Tulsa averages more than 70 points per game. Tulsa working in front of their own bench for the second half, and you called it, getting Horn involved right away. He goes back door and draws the foul.
Boy, he's got to get touches for Tulsa. He's just too good of a player. This is a set play out of halftime. Picks up the foul. He'll get 2 free throws. He's a pretty good free throw shooter at 84%. Odds are he's going to make a couple of these.
His second stint with Tulsa. He's roommates with Darian Jackson, who is the 6th man for Tulsa. And in fact, when Horn hit the transfer portal again, Jackson was the first to hit him up, say, hey, you want to be roommates again? Want to come back?
Why wouldn't you want him back? I mean, come on. Again, back to that kind of a little bit more of aggressive trap.
A backdoor or backcourt violation.
Yep.
That's a great call.
There's another turnover by the Broncos. Again, that 1-2-2 trap doesn't look like it's really that aggressive, but they just bait you into making a bad choice. Even that pass was a bad choice across the top there.
Tulsa had a 7-5 lead in the first half, and this was early. Since then, Boise State's played their front runner, although the game's been close. Tulsa's rarely been in front. Offensive foul on Jariah Horn. So Degenhart committed the foul against Horn on the previous possession. This time draws the foul.
Yeah, we'll see Horn there. Clearly they want to get Horn involved. A lot of bodies moving right there. I think it's a good call though. Lucky for the Broncos that didn't go the other way. That would have been the second on Tyson. Comes that trap.
This time, get it over the timeline. Degenhart pulls and hits.
Oh. Why not? Why not? Wide open. He likes that shot.
6 for 11 from three-point range. Pritchard finds Haywood the second. It's off.
Now the Broncos looking to run. They don't get a lot of trans. You got to shoot that.
Aycott does.
Oh. I think Tulsa needs to pick up the tempo a little bit.
Griffin is back.
Boy.
And stays sizzling.
I'm just telling you, that kid's open. It's going in. Sam Griffin.
36% sniper. Daring the shot attempts. Nick Kejab is open for a reason.
Yeah, Chris, and we talked about that in the open. Tulsa will bait you into shooting that quick three. That's not something Boise State wants to do. They really need to stick to their plan.
Loose ball fouls called on Jariah Horn. And that is his second, so he has to be careful here. He has 2, Griffin has 2. Shaver for 3, got it.
I haven't looked at the numbers. They might have made more tonight than they made all season. I mean, the ball's going in all of a sudden.
7 for 14 from 3. Shavers hit 3 of them. Haywood gets Armish in the air.
Boy, really good take. Tulsa just won't go away.
All square 33. 3 and 4 Broncos, 4 and 3 Golden Hurricane.
So you got to be a little patient here. A little patient. Ball's got to move. Good pass.
Key jab, triggers, won't fall. Armish, he's a beast on the offensive glass, but couldn't keep it near him. Sam Griffin, bounce pass, Horn, and Tulsa takes the lead.
Boy, great pass by Griffin. That was not as easy as it looked, and he made it look easy.
Into the zone. Haywood takes it coast to coast, and a beautiful touch. Timeout, Boise State. That defense for Tulsa, smothering.
Boy, it really is. I mean, Boise State, we've been harping on the turnover situation here. They've turned it over 3 times in 3 minutes, and that one leads to a dunk by Horn.
Some concern looks? Not really. This happened to be on the screen. Despite the fact Boise State has surrendered the game's last 6 points. Tulsa's made their last 4 attempts. But it's the start of the weekend here in December, holiday time. So you're seeing plenty of smiles. Brian, you have a lot of shopping to do still?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, I'm kind of the, you know, about December 15th, I kind of start thinking about it. December 20th, I get a little nervous.
It is the weekend now. Maybe you get some done this weekend, help lighten the load.
I think that's a really, really good idea.
Broncos out of the timeout, trying to end the Tulsa run. Again, that zone creates a turnover. Sam Griffin against Aycott and holds them off with the body. Struts back as Tulsa takes a 6-point lead.
Boy, that defense. Tulsa's defense, a lot of quick hands. You just have to be careful. Every pass you make, ball's got to move.
Max Rice, a deep three. He turned down a first half look that was open.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. Max really needs to get himself going. That's okay.
Largest lead of the game for Tulsa.
Really good play, set play.
Idowu in the lane for a bit. Shot clock down to 10. Pritchard the drive. Wild layup. See if the Broncos can end the 6-0.
Gosh, every pass is challenged by Tulsa. A lot of tips.
Actually, 8-0 run for the Golden Hurricane. That comes to a close with Emmanuel Aycott.
Tulsa seems to play a little more purpose here in the second half. Ball moves a little quicker. They're attacking the basket a little quicker.
Shaver knocks it out of bounds. Tulsa keeps it when we return. Tulsa has had the better of play so far in the second half. They built a 4-point lead. Leon Rice and the rest of the Bronco coaching staff dealing with a bit of adversity. Degenhart Dutry leaving the team, no longer with the program. So Boise State down a contributor and down by 4 to Tulsa.
I think Boise State has probably fixed a lot of the things that they've worked on this week in practice. They're knocking down shots, they're getting better shots, they're defending really well. I don't think they assumed they'd turn it over 19 times this early in the basketball game. So again, another issue for the Broncos.
Well, Boise State forces a turnover. Giving it away has been an issue. And Najee Smith on the other end pulls Boise State within 2.
Boy, and here comes Tulsa right back at them. And Tulsa's picked up the pace a little bit. I like the ball in Horn's hands as often as possible for Tulsa.
He has it here. Leading scorer for Tulsa. That time won't fall.
Good look, good rebound by Shaver. Broncos will push it up a little bit. Again, they just need to be careful with every pass they make.
Trying to solve the zone.
You know, Rice is going to have to stay aggressive. He's out there to shoot. He can't pass him up.
Smith doesn't pass that look up.
Ooh.
39-37. Tulsa down most of the first half. The first run of the second half to take the lead.
Here's Griffin. He's going to look to pull that.
Got the switch. The big Smith on him.
Smith. Rebound. Degenhart.
Shaver. No one picks him up. Confident three. Too much. Loose ball foul. And it'll belong to Tulsa.
Boy, Shaver decided to pull up way behind the line on that one.
Degenhart called for the foul. That's his second.
Here comes Boise State with a little soft pressure. Little 1-2-2. And it works. Oh!
Aycott tried to call the timeout. Aycott tried to call a timeout. None of the officials saw it.
We'll get a second look right here. Great steal by Aycott. Gets caught right at the center court line. Not sure where he's at.
So it's a backcourt violation. None of the officials granted Aycott the timeout. He clearly knew he was off balance, was going to fall into the backcourt. Had the presence of mind to call it a timeout.
Yeah, really a smart play. The officials just didn't see it. They were in transition, moving down the court. Just didn't see it.
Any truth to the old basketball saying a pressing team doesn't like to be pressed? Because we're seeing Boise State press the pressing team in Tulsa. Elbow jumper in and out.
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd put a lot of credit in that. I mean, pressing teams, you know what they do in practice every day?
They work the
They
press.
break the press. Rice has got to stay aggressive.
Aycott aggressive floater. No. Smith volleys the rebound. Out to Rice.
Boy, they're just fighting every possession for every shot. Tulsa is everywhere.
Aycott against that pressure, delivers.
Big bucket by Aycott, ties it up.
And re-engages the crowd. Horn with a hand in his face. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What a big bucket by Jariah Horn. Let's see if Boise State answers. Tulsa will not come out of that zone defense. Little matchup. They've had such good luck in it.
Degenhart muscling his way inside, draws the contact.
You got to love Degenhart, the freshman. He's just not afraid. He'll pull up and drill it from 25. He'll take it into the big bodies. He's having a really, really nice game.
That's a big call there. It's the third foul on Jariah Horn. Degenhart misses the free throw. Boise State 0 for 4 from the free throw line. Again, we've mentioned it all game. The second worst free throw shooting team in the country, coming in at just 56% from the line.
Just and as good as Tyson shoots it from everywhere else. This is a kid who should be knocking down free throws. There we go. There's the crowd. We got one. We got one so far.
The knowledgeable crowd in Boise, they know the struggle it's been.
Boise State with their own pressure. Both teams can really defend. There's a great pass.
All set up by Darian Jackson.
Yeah, Idowu with a bunny.
Tulsa back up 4. Degenhart. So he scored 3 straight for the blue and orange. Second Bronco in double figures. He has 11. Tying a team high with Marcus Shaver. Horn is 15 for Tulsa and a basketball.
That little high post feed, turn and face. He's just going to go to work. That's a charge.
Offensive foul on Ray Idowu. And it's a Tulsa turnover.
They would say, hey, caught, step back, nothing but net. And how about this one? He knows where that one's going, right in the bottom.
The last sequence, Idowu a little aggressive on the drive and taking a charge to the list of Degenhart accomplishments.
Boy, yeah, because Tyson Degenhart, the freshman from Spokane, Washington. Mom and dad probably at home watching this, feeling pretty proud right now. 11 points, 4 out of 5, 2 for 3 from the 3. He's earning his minutes.
Actually a 2-point game, 44-42, Broncos within 2. Degenhart, 2-time Greater Spokane League Player of the Year. Mount Spokane High School. They scored the Broncos' last 3 points.
Boy, and those 3 were much needed by Boise State.
You talked about Max Rice remaining aggressive.
Boy, hey, shoot or shoot, right? Max is a great shooter. He hasn't made one all season. He will, but he won't if he doesn't shoot. And they're going to need him to make buckets, so he's got to stay aggressive.
Oh, how about that from Abu Kijab in the spin cycle.
We'll get a second look at this little turn and face. He's just going to put it on the deck. Oh, that was nice. And we're back at the free throw line, Chris. Here we go. Kijab. He's a 51% free throw shooter.
And that won't fall.
And that one didn't go in for him.
Pritchard, that last foul, his first, team's 5th. Which, if you're Tulsa, Boise State keeps shooting free throws the way they've had, especially the last couple games. Offensive foul on the moving screen on the Idowu. You're not afraid of being in the bonus.
No, that's exactly right. We'll get a second look right here. Yes, a little bit.
It's right there on the the rim run after the screen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a chance for Boise State to get the lead back.
Shaver backdoor.
Cut.
Rice turned it down and his pass deflected. So that's exactly what you're talking about, Brian.
Yeah.
A shooter turned down the look, wanted the pass, but The pass wasn't there.
It really wasn't. There's a lot of hands in those passing lanes. And, you know, we don't know. Max may have been taught, you know, he may have been told, you know, don't take that shot, move the ball. We don't know what goes on in the locker room. We do know he's a shooter and a good shooter, and he'll knock one down. He'll get a shot.
Like he had a little bit of blood on his jersey as well. Degenhart.
Oh, gosh. Like I said, there's just hands everywhere with Tulsa. Really active hands. Another turnover for Boise State.
They've hit blackjack in turnovers.
They have.
21.
And not the good blackjack. 21 turnovers. Well, I'd be careful here.
Griffin.
Yeah.
With Rice on him.
Yeah.
And Griffin likes that matchup.
Yeah. He saw it. He pushed Horn aside and said, I got this one. Good pull up.
Shaver can't get it. Horn, leading rebounder for Tulsa. Tulsa, a 2-point lead on the road. Be their first away win this year.
But Tulsa, really, really good take. Darian Jackson, there's a whole different attitude. Second half by Tulsa, much more active offensively. Kuzmanovic, a shooter.
Broncos have their shooting lineup in, but they're turning it over. Jackson, another steal. He's one of the program's all-time leader in steals, and he gives Tulsa a tie of the largest lead. Timeout, Boise State.
We'll give Tulsa credit. Their defense is so active. Boise State's just having a really tough time figuring out passing angles. But you would think after 22 turnovers, they might figure it out.
Tulsa, to this point, we talked about the challenges that Boise State's had in their schedule. Tulsa clearly having their fair share of difficult games. Air Force, Mountain West squad, lost it by 1, and up against a Pac-12 team, got the W there. Rhode Island, a good team in the A-10. Utah, another team from the Pac-12, so that's quality post. And Oral Roberts, how about them, an NCAA tournament team from last year. Max Asmus, one of the best scorers, if not the best scorer in the nation. He put up 38 points.
38 against this defense.
I mean,
impressive.
We're seeing how difficult it is to score against, so you're right. 38
Impressive.
against that defense. Wow.
Boise State's just got to play through this. You know, I think their spacing needs to be a little wider against that zone. They need to scoot back.
Bijab has no room. Tie up. Arrow keeps it here, but Tulsa fired up. Leon Rice upset. He thought there was a lot of contact.
Yeah, if Tulsa's going to be so aggressive on the ball and jumping lanes with hands, Boise State needs to just spread out, scoot back away from that three-point line so the middle opens up a little bit. Coach Rice has got he's just got a little message for the officials. He's got a point to make. Leon's won 80% of the basketball games played in this arena since he's been here. A lot of success here in Boise.
The officials coming together here. It was a lean with the ball in the corner. Not sure what they're going to take a look at. Maybe an elbow high or something like that that Leon wanted to get the attention of the officiating crew. Tony Green, Brian Jarrett, Will Howard.
Well, yeah, they're going to look at something. Quite honestly, Chris, I'm not sure what. There's been so many rule changes in the last few years. I think maybe they were just up into him too much, didn't give him any space to move, like they're hovering over the top. Boy, I think Leon might be right. It kind of looked like a little bit of a foul to me.
But you're not going to go to the scorer's table to look at whether a foul was called. That's not one of the things that you're allowed to review. But you are allowed to review like hostile acts, whether an elbow went high or something like that. So
well, maybe somebody's going to whisper in our ear and fill us in here in a little bit and tell us what's going on at the scorer's table.
Well, we've talked about the home success of Leon Rice. And Broncos still plenty of time left, 8:45 to go. But down by 6. Before we get to that point, another look here. See Sam Griffin. seeing if there was any contact up high. Looks like he's just going for the ball there.
Yeah, looks like it to me. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to get clarification on that later.
Point I was going to make with Leon Rice, so much success at home. A loss here would be Boise State's third home loss in the non-conference. Boise State hasn't lost 3 home non-conference games since the 07-08 season.
So that's a long time. Yeah. Well, like I said, they're struggling a little bit offensively. Obviously haven't been able to make their free throws. Haven't been able to make the 3, which is just really uncharacteristic of a Leon Rice team. I mean, Leon has brought some of the best basketball players into Boise, Idaho that we've ever had here. He's brought in shooters, pure shooters. And it's just not going his way right now. We got a lot of time left in this basketball game, though.
So the officials emerge with the same ruling that they had coming in to the scorer's table. With a jump ball possession arrow. Gives it to Boise State.
Yeah, 14 on the clock. And again, maybe the Broncos just kind of widen their spacing out a little bit, make those passing lanes a little tougher to run through.
Max Rice fires here, still can't get a 3 to fall.
Yeah, that looked like that was actually kind of a little set play coming out of that that little break. They need Max to get something to go in. He didn't shoot that with a lot of confidence, and here comes Tulsa. Again, a little bit more purpose than they had in the first half.
Rice now 0 for 8 from three-point range this season after shooting 36% on high volume a season ago.
There's Griffin left alone.
That time Broncos fortunate, he's off.
Boy, it caught nice rebound for Boise State. Well, I think I might get Degenhart back in there at that high post if I'm Boise State. They need somebody to step out and hit that shot. It's not going to be our Moose.
Armush commits the 23rd turnover of the game for Boise State. Richard.
Broncos stay in their man. They've been in it the whole time. Tulsa's been in their zone the whole time.
Richard gets past Shaver and wins the race to the basket.
Again, Tulsa playing with a little more purpose, a little more energy the second half.
Shaver snaking his way to the rim. Gets free. Shaver with 13 to pace Boise State.
Yeah, Marcus just said, I'm going to do this one on my own, gentlemen. Really nice play. You know, Tulsa doing all this without Jariah Horn. He's been on the bench the last 3 or 4 minutes.
He's at the scorer's table right now, ready to check in. An in-traffic pass, that's not the way, and out of bounds. It remains with Tulsa. Coming up next, but Ryan, we have a good one here at ExtraMile Arena.
We do have a good one. Here's the freshman. He's going to check back in, but it's been the turnovers for Boise State and the bunnies for Tulsa in the second half.
Friday Night Hoops on the Mountain West Network. Chris Lewis, Brian King with you. Tulsa and Boise State have put together a good one, entertaining. A solid crowd in Boise. Right now the home team down by 6 after leading most of the first half.
Tulsa's going to start with the ball coming out of that timeout. Boise State really needs to keep them out of the middle. Tulsa's done a really nice job of dribble penetration in the second half.
Game's had 9 lead changes, 6 ties. Sam Griffin, dynamic guard, going to work. Horn, top player, step back, tough 3. Excellent defense by Abu Kijab. And the official, Ryan Jarrett, holding up the hand here.
Not sure
And
what we got
a foul
here.
on Boise State. A loose ball foul before the shot clock expires. How about that? So the ball remains with Tulsa after 30 seconds of great defense.
Yeah, I didn't see where that foul was, Chris. I'm not sure if you did. It didn't look like it was on the shooter. It's clearly going to be an air ball from the release. We'll get a second look here. No foul there. Underneath, looks like Max Rice was holding on a box out. Yep.
And that looked like before the shot clock expired. You saw Leon Rice tapping the top of his head to signal, hey, the shot clock expired before a foul. But by that look, they'll take a look at it, but by that look, Don't know if that's going to be overturned.
Jeez, it's like the Broncos can't get a break here. We can look on the weak side block there. Max trying to box out. Oh, maybe, yeah, clearly grabbed the jersey there a little bit. A little aggressive. But the key is, was that clock off yet?
It'll be the third team foul on Boise State. And that's indeed the ruling as Tulsa getting ready for the baseline inbounds.
Yeah, and you know, it obviously doesn't count as a turnover, but quite honestly, Chris, that's turnover, right? It's just another lost possession.
And the Broncos get that stop. Horn misses the interior. Key jab, like a running back. Gets the touchdown.
Oh, exactly. I'm not sure Kijab knew where he was going or what was going to happen once he got there, but he just wraps the football up right between everybody, kisses it off the backboard.
And now going for the extra point.
Oh, boy. All right. Come on, Kijab.
Boise State's free throw percentage not quite as high as the extra point percentages that you see in college football.
Attaboy.
But he does complete the three-point play.
Three-point play. Maybe that's enough to get this place going here in Boise, Idaho. Broncos back to their press. They've had a little luck in that. Now they'll fall back to their matchup zone. First time we've seen that out of Boise State.
Horn draws the blocking foul. Marcus Shaver did not have position.
Yeah, pretty obvious. He knew what Horn was going to do here. He's just going. Again, Tulsa just way more active offensively in the second half.
A low pass to Horn, active hands, tip it away. Horn regathers, 5 to shoot, fall away bank shot, kisses to the sky. He knows how clever that move was.
Boy, that really was big time play by Horn. Who's going to answer for Boise State?
Horn is 17, tough points for Tulsa.
Ooh, I like that ball at the high post. Watch out for hands.
Key jab, this time rolls off the rim.
Tulsa's going to look to push it here. No, they'll back it out.
Brian, feels like a big possession here.
Boy, it really does. I was thinking the same thing. You know what 41's doing with it. He wants this thing back right now.
Gives it off to his scoring teammate, Sam Griffin. Rice sends him baseline. Excellent cut by Haywood. Banks it in, and Tulsa has their largest lead at 7.
Great cut, great pass by Griffin.
Acott, rainmaker.
Well, I think if you're Boise State, it doesn't matter if it's the first pass or the 10th pass in the possession, but if you've got an open look, you've got to shoot it because you're just not going to get many against Tulsa.
Nearly a forced turnover. Fingertips, Griffin lost it. Acott up top, key jab, and gets the bucket.
That gets this place going. A steal, we've seen a lot of turnovers, and one. Maybe the best possession Boise State's had tonight. Kijab gets a chance to earn the other one.
Abu Kijab off the Acott pass. 2 transfers from the Pac-12. Acott, Arizona, Kijab, Oregon. And now a 55% free throw shooter. Can put Boise State within 1. And it's been a struggle. And again, Kijab last season, in fact, the last 2 seasons, 70%.
Yeah.
And this year it's around 50. And there remains a 2-point deficit.
It's just an adventure for Boise State when anybody goes to the free throw line.
Idowu, drop step. Tipped around, and Kijab brings it down. And there is the foul. Darian Jackson will walk the length of the floor with the loose ball foul when we return. Broncos running and gunning, and back within 2. Manuel Acott, one of the reasons Boise State right in this game.
Well, he's their leading scorer. He's their team leader. Just had a great steal. It led to a nice dunk. He's getting it done offensively himself. He's just going to have to play well every game for Boise State to have the kind of season they want to have. Here we see the steal. Nice little lob pass to his buddy. Maybe the best possession of the game for Boise State.
Acott, and you're seeing Kijab there. They're 2 of the 4 in double figure scoring. 1-1, 55% free throw shooter. And there it is on the first.
And a deep sigh by Kijab, like, oh baby, it went in. He's gonna make this one, Chris. He's gonna knock this one down. He's feeling good. Oh, 2 in a row for Boise State.
Shooters, no shooters.
Here comes a little full court pressure.
Remains Tulsa basketball. Under 4 minutes left, tied at 56 in a game that's had 9 lead changes and 7 ties.
Well, that full court pressure right there really took Tulsa by surprise. Looks like the Broncos will pick up man. Oh, and a steal.
Max Rice steals it. Teardrop, no. Rice gets it back. Broncos can set it up. Acott bombs away, in and out. And a great rebound by Idowu over the top for Tulsa.
Boy, the roof would have come off this place if Acott would have knocked that down. This last 3 minutes is going to be a dogfight, Chris. They're playing with a little desperation, both teams.
Fake the DHO, the dribble handoff, and Darian Jackson, the beneficiary.
Really clever right there by Jackson. That quiets the crowd.
Does Boise State have a response?
Got to hit that.
Degenhart with that pivot. Jackson comes in. He has awesome hands, and that's why he's one of the best at taking away the basketball for Tulsa in program history.
Boy, they just, every one of these Tulsa players, quick hands, active hands. Boise State's really struggled with it. Again, Jackson.
Through the hands of Idowu, regathers, step through. First look off, and a loose ball foul as it comes down. And it's a foul called on Boise State.
We'll get a second look. Tyson does a really nice job defending that. Bodies all over the place. And they picked one out of there.
15 foul, so one more before the 1-1. Hand in the face of Griffin, shot nowhere close. And Boise State can tie it with a deuce, take the lead with a 3.
Not a good decision by Griffin that time. I think Degenhart needs to get in a high post and just catch, turn and face, and hit about a 16-footer. Kijab.
Kijab faces up. Shaver for the lead. Marcus Shaver connects.
Boy, they really needed Shaver tonight. He's delivering 16 for Marcus Shaver.
Boise, the mic is yours.
Look at that, Shaver. Real simple. Entry pass to the high post. Catch, turn and face. Kick it to your shooter. Chris, we've both been in a lot of arenas, but I will tell you, this one here in Boise, Idaho is as good as it gets.
And the crowd has brought it. Friday night hoops. Band out, students out. Students have been great all year long this season. It's been a party-like atmosphere. And Boise State has clawed their way back, down as many as 8 in the second half. to take the lead by 1 with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and despite the the issues with the turnovers here, 24 turnovers from Boise State. How they're still in this game is a bit of a shock, but they're knocking down shots.
So what are some of the keys down the stretch each way?
Boise State's obviously got to take care of the basketball, right? They can't turn it over. Tulsa's going to continue with pressure. That's what they do. Boise State's got to take care of the basketball. Tulsa, you got to defend the 3 because Boise State's looking to knock those down now.
Tyson Degenhart in double figures. He has 11, his second start for Boise State.
Super big addition to this program. He's going to put a lot of good minutes on this court over the next 4 years.
See what Frank Haith had in the huddle out of the timeout.
Boy, I think that ball is going to touch 41's hands at least once, maybe Griffin's. Oh,
Pritchard is swatted. Emmanuel Laycott knocked it out of bounds. Tulsa remains with possession.
Pretty clever by Pritchard. He gets to the hoops. He just kind of checks himself on the backboard there. Doesn't finish.
I don't even know if it was blocked. Might have just hit the corner. Reaching Griffin to remain possession. Horn off the catch. It's short. He dove with a board and then a foul on Shaver.
What a good hustle play by Shaver trying to go after that rebound. Just got a little too much arm. Horn with a long 3. Shaver just, I want to get a little piece of that.
Broncos have a timeout left. Tulsa with 2 timeouts remaining. Tulsa with 19 fouls, so the Broncos will be shooting 2 after this on every foul. And that was the 16th foul on Boise State. Next one, the 1-and-1 for Tulsa. Udowu on the block. Degenhart defense.
Good job by Degenhart. Good cut.
Horn is knocked away by Degenhart. What defense by the freshman from Spokane.
Holy smokes. Coach Haith is like, how is that not a foul? Really big possession here by Boise State.
The ball on a 1-point lead. Shaver hit the go-ahead 3. Wants more. 5 to shoot.
Oh.
D-Jab bumps into a defender, and it's a blocking foul. With the shot clock winding down, Pritchard called for the foul, which will send Key-Jab to the line to shoot 2.
Aycott needed to take control right there. Key-Jab's really got nowhere to go here, trying to get there before the shot clock goes. Gets bailed out. So he'll get a couple here.
3 for 6 from the line in this game, 55% on the year.
Oh, my goodness. That poor kid. I mean, it's an adventure every time any one of them gets up there right now. This one's going in.
As a team, 4 for 11.
(60-58). Broncos will come with pressure here.
Tulsa down 2. Griffin, the steady hand. Gets the high screen. A pull-up triple off front rim would have given Tulsa the lead. And Shaver is fouled with 36 and a half to go.
Boy, that shot looked pretty good from inception. Just left it a little bit short. Now Shaver to the line, who I believe is perfect on the season from the free throw line at 7 for 7. This is his first attempt tonight. Jinxed him.
You gotta let the audience know. But at the same time, Shaver misses his first free throw this season, and no matter what, Tulsa will at least have a chance to tie it.
Rimmed it in.
Tulsa with the ball down 3. 6.5 seconds separate the 2 clocks. You need a three here. Horn can shoot the three. A contested one. Air ball.
Oh,
Man. Incredible save by Curtis Haywood to knock it off the body of a Bronco.
Holy smoke, we'll get another look at this. Didn't get the best shot up here by Horn, but watch the save with the left hand. He goes and gets it. Oh, great play. If you're a Tulsa fan, that's a great play.
That's a great basketball play. Just the athleticism to jump from being inbounds, fly out of bounds, and have the hang time to get rid of it before your foot comes down out of bounds.
With your offhand, control it.
All right, so it'll be Tulsa ball. Again, the shot didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock remains at 9. What do you do here if you're Tulsa?
Well, I think they're going to get it to Griffin or Horn, right? Obviously, and if it doesn't happen, I'm not so sure you don't go get a 2 here, though. I mean, you take the best shot you can get. If it's a 2, you get the 2. 15 seconds is a lot of time here. What you don't want to do is force yourself into a fadeaway 3 with 1 second left on the shot clock. So I'm okay with an easy 2.
Pritchard to throw it in.
Trying to get it to Horn.
As the clock was winding down to get it in, it's deflected by Boise State and out on the corner. So a re-trigger as Boise State wants that looked at.
I don't know how many people are at the arena tonight, but every one of them is standing right now.
Another inbound from Haywood.
They're going to try to get the 3.
Horn.
They're going to go to tie it.
Running out of time. Wants it back. 2 to shoot. Horn does get it off. Oh! Unbelievable with 4.9 left.
Unbelievable is right. Watch him give it up. He's got nothing. Give it up. Get it back. Oh, my goodness.
But was it before the shot clock expired?
Boise, Idaho crowd is saying negative. We're about to find out.
Still in his hand.
Ooh, I don't think so. I don't think so.
The margin between victory and defeat, or
It's about
tie
a half
game
a second, yeah.
is just the difference of a beat.
Wow.
Wipe it off.
You still got to give Jariah Horn a lot of credit. What a tough shot. 2 guys all over him. Quarter of a second too late. Because this thing's not over. Boise State, first thing you got to do, you got to get it in bounds, right? You got to have something set up. I would not throw the ball in the backcourt. I would throw it towards the other basket if possible. Get that thing away from this basket.
And Boise State just 56% from the free throw line as a team. But first you got to get it in. Degenhart for Rice, who is a good shooter. Doesn't even think about getting rid of the ball with 4.6 left. Double bonus. So 2 free throws for Boise State. One of them goes in, and it pretty much seals the deal.
That's right, Max Rice. Got a chance to get himself going a little bit here, knock down a free throw.
He is only 1 for 3 from the line this season, but was a good shooter for the free throw line a year ago. Four-point lead. The coach's son.
Good for Max Rice. He has not had the most exceptional season so far, but just little things like that can change things. It just might be what it takes to get him going.
Tulsa with 1 timeout left. Broncos surrender the rebound. Rice 2 for 2.
Stay away.
5-point lead. Griffin gets it off, but that'll do it. Boise State down by as many as 8 with about 8 minutes left. Get the 63-58 win at home against Tulsa.
Really a good win for the Broncos, kind of a much-needed win for Boise State. And 6 or 7 minutes ago, didn't look like the ball was going to bounce their way, but they gutted it out, made shots down the stretch.
And made free throws down the stretch. P-Jab hit 3 big free throws. Rice hit 2.
Well, they really did. Ended up 8 for 16 from the free throw line for the game, so right at about their percentage.
How about Boise State's defense also down the stretch of this game, as we're getting ready to hear from Marcus Shaver. But Tulsa, 1 for their last 10 shooting in this game.
Yeah,
So
the Broncos
Boise State's defense turned it up.
Yeah, they're really hanging their hat this year on defense, and quite honestly, other than the St. Louis game, they've really delivered. And this is going to be a team that, has to gut out every win, I think.
Getting ready to be joined by Marcus Shaver in this game. 17 points, including the go-ahead 3, which was a bomb. He was 4 of 7 from three-point range. How about you add in 8 boards and 7 assists? What a game for Marcus Shaver, who joins us. Congratulations on the win. What a performance. What was it like being out there for this fun one?
Oh, man, it was fun. Definitely a lot of energy in this building. I love playing out here. I love playing hard. And it was just an overall good team win.
Hey, Marcus, you've played in a lot of arenas in your career. What do you think about this one in Boise, Idaho?
Man, I love it out here, man. The fans really get into it. I love the energy. I definitely feel like the fans affect the opponents, and I just really love playing here, man.
You guys were down 8 with 7:26 left. Tulsa in the second half, and really in the first half too, was forcing a bunch of turnovers. So how did the team settle down at that point in the game to figure it out for the comeback?
I mean, that tournament in Charleston really prepared us for this moment. We knew it was going to be a battle. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. And we just regrouped in the locker room, just kept our composure, and just came out and took the gloves off and just played tough.
Hey, Marcus, it looked early that a lot of the players, a lot of your teammates were really not committed to the three-point shot. Like they didn't want to shoot it. They weren't sure. You were not in that mindset. I could tell by watching. You were ready to fire.
Yeah.
How do you get those other guys ready to fire?
It's just work in the gym. And also, I think it's confidence. Just encouraging them to shoot. When they're open, just take the open shot.
Well, Marcus Shaver, redshirt senior from Phoenix. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
What a game. Again, 17 points. 4 of 7 from 3, 8 boards, 7 assists. I believe the term for that is a stat sheet stuffer. Speaking of the stat sheet, you look at it here. You have 24 turnovers in a game and still find a way to win.
Boy, I think if you're Tulsa, you're gonna be heading to the airport here in a little bit going, how do we lose when we cause 24 turnovers? Quite honestly, I'm not sure, but Boise State gutted it up. They knocked down the big shots, and they defended as good as Tulsa did.
Turned out to be a fun one on a Friday here in Boise. Energy was there. Teams delivered. Entertaining game to watch. Hope you guys enjoy watching it. You're on the Mountain West Network, a good one. And of course, Boise State. And next up is a road game against Cal State Northridge. CSUN. For Tulsa, they'll take on Loyola Marymount in their next game. But a fun one here in Boise. And the final score, 63-58. Boise State survives. Nearly the game-tying shot from Jariah Horn with 4 seconds left, wiped off with the shot clock expiring just in time to give the Broncos the victory. For Brian King, the rest of our Mountain West Network crew, I'm Chris Lewis. Thanks so much for watching. Good night from Boise.